Welcome to the Power Friendship Podcast. I'm your host, Sailor Gaines, Mr. Davis if you're nasty. We're here to give you a daily dose of friendship, all that good stuff. We have a special guest today. Introduce yourself.
My name is Juleschingreene. I am a staff writer at Poppers, and I met Tevin at New York Comic Con this year and definitely showcased the power of friendship for me.
Aw. Aw, I didn't expect that. Okay. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry at the show. I'm not going to cry at the show. Jules is here. We're here. We're going to have a good time. We have some questions to get down to the nitty gritty. First question. When was the last time you were happy, sad, and angry?
I would say when I was watching this really great Korean thriller film earlier this morning called Midnight, and it's about, there's a serial killer running around Seoul, and there's this young, like the two main characters are this young deaf woman and her mother who's also deaf. And he then, starts targeting them, and it just put me on a whole roller coaster of emotions. And, luckily, I mean, light spoilers, like things end well for the people that you're rooting for. But, I felt all those emotions watching that movie.
Okay. Awesome. Where'd you watch it? Where was this at?
Amazon Prime, I believe. I'm a
Ooh, okay.
huge fan of like just Korean movies in general, but I also have Shudder, and so I was
Okay.
trying to like
Okay.
find something good to watch on Shudder, but then I heard really great things about this film, so I just went for it.
Okay. Okay. Shut it. Shout out to Shut It. I'm gonna watch Influencers today. I'm gonna give that a
But
shot.
yeah,
I'm gonna give that a
yeah.
shot. I'm gonna give that a shot. I saw the first one. It was fine.
hmm
But yeah. And Ugly Stepsister is one of my favorite movies I saw this
I've
year.
heard great things about that one too.
That was a jam. Okay, but when was the last time you were sad?
You know, there were some like sad things that happened in that movie, you know what I mean? Like one thing that I thought was really good about it was that it was also kind of a critique of how people who are deaf and who use sign language, like especially really kind of within Korea, but also you could say this about certainly here in the States, but at one point the main character's trying to communicate to hearing people like, oh my God, I'm literally being chased right now. Like, but because she has a knife in her hand, like people think that she's, crazy or like, a danger to other people. But meanwhile, she's just really trying to explain like, no, this guy who's chasing me, who's over there, like is the real danger. And um, it definitely, I'm hard of hearing in one of my ears. And I was just like, man, it can really be rough. Um, Thankfully, like, I really feel like it was just a good moment to realize, hey, yeah, more people should learn like sign language, just for
Okay.
these types of situations.
Okay. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Okay. And last time you were angry.
Let's see. I feel like, and this might be like a recurring like theme, but I feel like I think just because of my personality or whatever, I don't want to sound like I'm just like, you know, the Hulk all the time. But I feel like that, ever since like I think I would say like ever since like the 2004 presidential election, like that's like when I can remember it's like kind of like occurring for me. There's just like kind of this like baseline like background anger that's just like kind of always there. But I don't see it as a bad thing. I see it as like a being aware of what's going on in the world and having feelings about it and
Hmm.
finding a sense of purpose in acting upon those feelings, if that makes any sense. And trying to find a way in my own life, like wherever I can every day to, just improve the world in some way or help someone. So yeah, it's kind of always there. But, I feel like maybe it's almost like, I feel like some ways like Smart Hulk in like Avengers Endgame, where it's like, yeah, like he's like hulked out, but he's got his glasses on, he's in
Yeah.
control, and
Yeah. Okay.
he's got the best of both worlds.
I like it. 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 Oh, that's dope. How nerdy are you from a scale of 1 to 10?
You know, I was thinking the other day about what words like dork and nerd and geek mean at this point, since like so much of nerd culture is mainstream. But then later that day, I was out exercising, and then I was like, you know what? I should think of like, I should explain the 8 bear species that exist in the world within Wolverine terms. So then I was like, what, like, which version of Wolverine best represents like an Asiatic black bear? And like,
Okay. Okay.
I like went through like every single species, like sun bear, American black bear, brown bear, etc. And thought of like a very specific version of Wolverine that best, describes each of those species. And then I was like, yeah, like looking back on that now, I'm like, yeah, I would say it would definitely a 10 because like who thinks about this except for me?
That's cool. I was like, that's different. That's different. Okay, okay, okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. What character do you relate the most? Any fictional character?
No, for sure. So I would say, like right now, like in my office, I'm just like utterly surrounded by these various action figures of Orion of the New Gods. And so, I just got this one
Okay.
when I was in San Diego. Like, oops, okay,
Ooh.
part of him fell off a little bit, but I got him at this great comic book shop called Now or Never Comics.
Hey, shout to
They're
them.
they're pretty close to the convention center, and this action figure I've been on like the hunt for such a long time because he originally comes with it usually comes as a 2-pack with Darkseid because it's his dad. Um, this is totally not answering your question, but anyways,
You're
I'm
fine. Hey,
just
you're
really
fine. Hey,
excited to
I
like
love it. Give me the lore.
to
I love it.
finally get this action figure that I've been on the hunt for. But I would say what I really relate about what I really relate to about Orion is that returning to that sense of anger. He is the biological son of Darkseid, but then, when he was a little baby, he was swapped with Highfather of New Genesis, like the nice planet um, son who ends up being Mr. Miracle. So Mr. Miracle ends up being raised by Darkseid. Orion ends up being raised by Highfather, and in this like loving, peaceful environment. And so Orion is taught to be, a force for good in the universe,
Mhm.
but because of like nature versus nurture or whatever, he still has this anger inside of him, but he uses it for good. But it's something that he's always struggling with because when he gets angry, um, because there's injustice in the world or something, or Darkseid's up to his antics, his face will, shift from being very like, handsome or whatever to looking very monstrous and looking a lot like Darkseid. And he's always struggling with that, like, oh, is this the true face of who I am? What does that mean if I'm fighting for good but I still look like my biological dad? And then he's got this like mother box device that basically like helps him transform back into that face of New Genesis. And for me, I was like, wow, that's like a really really powerful like metaphor for like passing, and I was like,
Right.
like Jack Kirby was like, I mean,
On.
obviously like Jack Kirby is this like, genius, but I was like,
Yeah.
damn, like, he was like working on
Another
so
level.
many different levels there. And I just feel like Orion's condition can apply to like so many different ways of being and existing within this world. And, on Young Justice, there was a parallel drawn between, his rages with and his whole condition with Rocket's son who is on the autism spectrum. So I just think he's a character that a lot of people can find solace in, and I just think he's just such a wonderful hero in the DC universe.
That was beautiful. That was
I'm
beautiful.
like always happy to talk about Orion.
That was beautiful. I love that. Listen here, I am always I love that. That's why I like I love that's why I love doing the show. I love I love learning. Well, you know Orion, but you don't. You know what I mean? Until you find somebody that's like passionate about that character, you're like, hey, this is it. I liked it. I love how you put it and explain it. That's dope. That was really cool. What are you reading now? Like, what are you reading now? What's at the top of your list?
So I have been reading Jason Aaron's Wolverine Run. Um, and I've been on a huge Wolverine kick recently. Like I read Greg Rucka in Derek Robertson's run, and I've just been like speeding through everything, so I'm just like, oh yeah, like Jason Aaron like wrote Wolverine for like such a long time. That's gonna keep me fed for a good long time. So it's so great, and he's gone through so much. He's gone to hell and back. I'm not gonna spoil it. Some of the big twists in that run, but it's real. There's been so many wonderful character moments with him, and just being this like grumpy little like hairy guy. That it's just like quintessential Wolverine. And of course, because I'm me, I'm also reading this nonfiction book called The Wolverine Way by
Okay.
Douglas Chadwick.
Okay.
Because I also love like Wolverines the animal. They're just so badass, and we don't even know very much about them because they're so good at hiding and evading people, and they
Yeah.
live like, on these glaciers in Montana and Alaska, and so they're just so good at roaming and just like moving the heck away from us. And they've got like some of the strongest bite force out of like North American mammals, and they're strong enough that they can like chew bone and teeth. It's just like, why? Like
It's
they're
crazy.
just
It's crazy.
these little guys, they're great. I love them.
I love it. Okay. That's so cool. It's a first. A Wolverine? Okay. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Who are your favorite comic book characters?
Boy, obviously I love my guy Orion, but I would say, I just keep talking about animals. So
Uh-huh.
I love Animal Man.
Hey, okay. I was like, okay, we got somebody in there. Okay. Okay. Okay.
And I think because I love like learning about animals and like the crazy things that they can do. Like I'm just like, somebody's gotta tell like Animal Man, like, hey, you should like be close to like, I don't know. This wouldn't be helpful, but like cockroaches like mourn their dead sometimes. That wouldn't be like a important
That's
power for him because
okay,
humans
that's
can do
cool.
that too.
That's cool. Okay.
You know,
That's really cool.
you know,
What?
I listen to the Tooth and Claw podcast, and so that's like where I
Yeah.
get a lot of my facts from when I'm not reading
Oh,
books. They
they
they did a great
mourn?
episode on cockroaches. I still hate them. However, there's more than meets the eye with them.
Yo, what? Okay, that's so
But
cool. Okay.
I just, there's just all these things I want to tell Animal Man about.
Hey, brother. Hey, you could be doing a lot more.
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. And along with that, like the chimp, chimps are I'm scared of them, but they are
Yes.
fascinating animals. And I'm just like, Animal Man, you got to team up with like Detective Chimp all the time because then you can get chimp strength, which is like significantly
Crazy.
more than what we are capable of. And Animal Man isn't exactly a buff guy. And he's also Detective Chimp is also a rational, fairly calm and agreeable guy, unlike most chimps. So that's a big plus. And then I also got to shout out like Martian Manhunter, John Constantine, Jason Todd, Thor, Forge, Sunspot. I'll just like literally list like every single X-Men character ever. So I'll stop myself there.
That's good. That was good. Oh, that's awesome. Who's your least favorite? Give me your like brother. Like
I this is gonna be controversial, and I am afraid of what could possibly. I'm actually not afraid of what people's reactions could be, but uh,
be the Wolverine. Be the Wolverine.
I don't like Deadpool.
Okay, okay, okay. I feel that. I feel that. I feel that. I feel that. Okay,
You know,
okay,
there's
okay.
some hope in this world. It's just yeah, when I was watching Peacemaker season 2 this year, and I was so utterly charmed by Freddie Stroma's performance as Vigilante. I was like, you know what? Like, having read Vigilante's like Mark Wolfman stuff with Vigilante from the '80s, you know, I know that version of the character isn't what he's like in most comics. However, I was watching this version of Vigilante, and I was like, he has what he should be. He should have like the place that Deadpool has, in pop culture now, in my opinion.
Okay, okay, okay. I like it. I love it. I love it.
Because with Deadpool, okay, I'll make the differentiation. I don't like movie Deadpool.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, that's
That's
really what I'm saying.
most people don't know the difference. That's
Yeah,
good. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
What was done with like deepening his character in the comics, I want to say it was Mike Carey, but could be getting that wrong. One of my friends right now will be like, "It's so and so," or whomever right now.
Yeah.
To just like kind of look at the emotional effects of being a merc with a mouth
Yeah.
and giving him some depth. We just haven't really gotten that in movies, and it just seems like he exists in the movies to be like a meme or like a clip or something that like goes around social media. I'm not into it, but a lot of other people like it, and I'm glad that they have something that they can like, I guess.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. That's so cool. Any other characters besides Deadpool?
Boy, this is also going to land me in some hot water.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm not wild about Peter Parker Spider-Man.
Oh, no. Okay. 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 Okay.
You
Okay.
know,
Okay.
but also like I can literally feel like the Spider-Man community right now just like raising their hackles. But I really like Ben Riley because he's so funny and he doesn't realize it.
Yep.
He always has like Linkin Park or something like going on in the background, or like new metal. Like, he's just like in his like edgy moment. Not to say that, he doesn't have reason for feeling that way, but just in comparison, like, and I love like the early Ditko Stanley Spider-Man comics. I mean, who doesn't? And there's stories like Craven's Last Hunt is just like absolute comics to me.
Okay.
Absolutely great, but I just see Spider-Man everywhere. He's always in my games and Marvel Rivals. I'm kind of sick of the guy.
Marvel Rivals do even. Oh, come on, man. I
Like, he
understand.
will
Okay.
always, like, I'm a support main. He will always be coming for my life. I need some rest.
I'm fighting for. I was like, please don't, Mr. Spider-Man. Please don't. Okay, I love that. Okay, see, this is interesting. Okay, Spider-Man, Deadpool. Yeah, I have like a lot of Storm. I don't like Storm. I don't dislike Storm. I just feel like, all right. But I was just a kid, and I was like, God, here we go. My sister will always. I was like, yo, just let me be Cyclops. That's what I want. I don't hate Storm though. Like I'm like, I'm like, all right. I'm just like, oh, Storm. Damn. It's okay. I was a big Batman hater for a minute too. Big Batman hater for a minute too. Yeah, when
You've
I was a
seen the
kid,
light now?
yeah, I seen the light. I think Batman's
I'm
dope.
glad.
Batman's this is I get it, guys. This is I get it. I get it. I get it. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Daredevil's growing on me too. He's like a lot like, damn, he doesn't like every issue. I'm like every book. I'm like, yo, every story is like, okay, it's cool. But yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah,
right. You're right.
yeah.
Right. What is your fourth favorite color?
Boy, I want to say like probably like purple. You know,
Okay,
it's
because
probably like mid of the
you're very
pack
dapper.
for me. But
You're
I do
very
like it.
yeah, you're very how you dress and everything. I'm like, okay, okay. I was like, what kind of color? I was like, what the hell? I was like, you look like an anime character, but like the sophisticated. You look sophisticated, like you just like the lowest lane of anime. It'd be cool. That'd be cool. Lowest
Thank
lane of
you.
anime. That'd be sick. You always got like the fly stuff on it. I was like, yo, okay, okay, I see you. I see you. Okay, cool. But yeah, okay, purples. Okay, what's your first?
You know, I love like a really good shade of green, like specifically like a British racing green. It's like a dark bluish green. My mom has this condition where she's like an extra color receptor in her eyes, so she sees like way more colors than the rest of us. So
Okay.
she's always like pointing out different colors to me, and or being like, obviously that color doesn't look anything like, cerulean or whatever. Like, can't you see like the pink undertones? And I'm like, I can't. I'm like, you're seeing like colors. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, you're seeing colors in 4D. Like, we're all trying our best here.
Okay, 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 okay.
So I'm always challenged to pay attention to color.
Okay, what is your dream cosplay without any limits?
So I've literally been thinking about this for like a year now. I really want to put together a Halverine cosplay. So it's Wolverine's son Akihiro. He's got claws of his own. He's got a mohawk and tattoos, but he's also possessed by a demon right now. So he's like
Okay,
kind of
okay,
like Ghost Rider.
okay. I'm confused. All right, where's Dakin? Dakin?
That's him.
Oh my God, thank God. Okay, I was like, why did I know? See, all right, fun fact about people that read comics, they call them by real names. People call
Yeah,
people by
well
their real names
now,
sometimes. Or Soups, or like Clark, or like, hey, Steve, or Frank. Like when we play Marvel Rivals, I'm like, Frank, Steve, Jody. Oh, I call them by
Yeah.
real names. I'm like, who the fuck is that? I'm like, oh, right. I'm my bad. My bad. My bad. But I also like, cause I'm like, I get confused a lot of time. I'm like, fuck. When I'll make sure I wasn't like behind or anything. I was
Mhm.
like, yo, who is
No, all
this
good.
guy? Okay. Cause I know he got super murdered like a minute ago, but that's the last I
Oh,
remember.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
By Sabretooth, because he's always making
Yeah,
things
man.
worse for Logan. But, just like obviously any Wolverine snicked family member is gonna look really cool. However, making one that's like also on fire, like it's just like,
Hell yeah.
man, it's great. I don't know how I'm gonna do the flames. I cosplayed Chamber from Generation X, who's just like a nuclear furnace that's like slowly exploding. But I don't know how I'm gonna do that with Wolverine. It's gonna happen one day though.
Okay, Helverine. Let's go. Helverine. Guys, support, do all that good
Hmm.
stuff. Send the money, do everything. We need Helverine. We need Helverine. Hey, Helverine, what is your favorite superhero movie? Or like movies? Do you have favorite superhero movies?
Oh boy. Thunderbolts really hit me hard last year.
Okay.
I like kept crying the first time I saw it in theaters. I was
Yeah, I was
like,
cooked. I was cooked.
yeah, I was like, I'm crying again. But the movie was giving me all these great reasons to like feel these emotions. The way they did the void looked awesome, and really scary and just like upsetting in a good way. And then Lewis Pullman's performance, phenomenal.
Mm,
Um,
yes.
and then I gotta shout out like the Batman perfect movie in my book, Blade 2. It's directed by Guillermo del Toro, and there's when you watch it, you're like, oh, this has like all of his hallmarks kind of in it. Like there's got to be a guy who's like doing like like flippy sword stuff, and Donnie Yen, like that the martial artist is in it. Um, it's just Guillermo del Toro. Love all his movies. And then I love Logan. Obviously, I think I've never met anyone who was like, nah. But somewhat
Yeah,
controversially, like I love Eternals, and I will die on this hill. I thought
I
Eternals was
like Eternals.
beautiful.
I like Eternals. I do.
Like I'm glad that other people are really appreciating it.
It's
It's
so
it's a
beautiful.
great
I was
movie.
like, people not like it. This is the most beautiful movie Marvel ever made.
Yeah, yeah,
It's so pretty. It's amazing. I don't know. People are weird. If Eternals is fine. People are just weird.
yeah, yeah. Hopefully, I'm hoping that with time, people will come back to it and be like, you know what, this is really beautiful.
Yeah, Chloe Zhao did her thing. Chloe Zhao did her
Hmm.
thing. Did her thing. Did her thing. What's your least favorite superhero movie? Give me some like.
Boy,
Cause I like the way
and
you have a different. Yeah, you're different. I like it.
I would say, oh boy, we're gonna be really sad. Because I first thought like Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice, like Man of Steel. Those are low hanging fruit. I really did not like Deadpool and Wolverine. I
I've heard
just,
people say this. It's a clip show. Damn it! It's a clip show.
I I will say, the best parts of the movie, I thought Channing Tatum as Gambit was great. Like the way they showed his powers, I was like, yo, like this is wonderful. I just wish they had
Okay.
given him the eyes, but but
Okay. Okay.
I it's because I think I grew up reading like Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely's New X-Men, which is where, Cassandra Nova like first appeared. And I love Emma Corrin as an actor, but they didn't lean enough, in my opinion, to like the weirdness of Cassandra Nova and X-Men comics in general. It just felt like a gentrified version of, X-Men comics, which was
Okay.
upsetting because,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is just for normies. Like, the people deserve better than this. So that's my hot take.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. To the normies. I love it. I love it. I love it. Nothing wrong with that. I've heard about the same thing before with that movie. I was like, people are spitting. People are right. People are
Hmm.
right. It's just because I've known Wolverine. It's a lot. Wolverine's one of my. Well, I like Laura.
Yeah.
Laura, that's my favorite. That's one of
Yeah.
my favorite characters of all
Yeah.
time. That's my girl. That's my
Yeah.
dog. Listen.
Yeah.
Like
I was
I like
glad to see her
Nightwing.
again.
Please, man. Please. I don't. Please, just don't. Oh man, don't do anything weird. Put her in a suit. I want to say it before I die.
Hmm.
before I die, but
Yep.
that's not, I don't ask for much. I don't ask for much. What did you learn about yourself this year?
Boy, last year, I think I learned that going with the flow is great, under like specific circumstances, just remaining flexible. And that's what I really found. Like, as the older I've gotten, is just, I feel so much more at peace when I'm just like, you know what? Things could possibly change at any given moment. And there's nothing you can kind of do about it most of the time. And that's fine. You find ways to work around things. I guess also, like, I broke a bone for the first time,
Mm,
and I discovered that it really hurts, and it's a weird feeling. So that was a pretty big moment. It was like, wow, it took a really, really long time for that to happen, but it's finally happened.
mm. Okay, 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 okay. What? How do you prepare for interviews?
Yeah, so it depends on the person. What I do, because like I have anxiety, and I just like really care about doing a good job, I guess. Maybe is what anxiety is. I like, if it's an actor or someone who regularly does press interviews, like over video and stuff, like I'll just watch a lot of their interviews to kind of see if I can suss out what their vibe is, if they have a vibe, um across like various, press junkets and whatnot, and then see what types of questions they respond well to, and then I'll, like, also read their Wikipedia page, and I guess human like so they can really be humanized for me, because I think what I really enjoy about interviewing is interacting with the other person as a human, but also as an artist, and those two things are very, like, you can't be an artist without also being a human, and having, experience in the world. And that's what brings me a lot of enjoyment, and I guess psychic income from doing this. Yeah, so then I just try to read as much as I can, and then also, like, for if it's a given project, like, read up on that specific project, have my own opinions on it. And yeah, and then just like try to stay calm and just remember, like, you know, my good friend Leah McGuire from Comic Frontier, you should all check their work out. They're great. Once told me, like, a few years ago, like, just have, like, what you can aim for with an interview is to create the interview that you as a fan would love to read. And
Mm,
that's always stuck with me ever since.
okay, thank you, thank you. I'm barring all that. I'm on all that. What's like your like? All right, so like, what's your do not do when you interview with somebody? What's your do nots?
So, you know, I would say my do nots are like, don't ask stupid questions. However, that's not like, that's a piece of advice that I feel like isn't helpful because stupid is a subjective term. But you know, I would say, and this is maybe like getting into like ethics and stuff like that, but I think within my work, I want to, like, always, respect is really important to me, and respecting, whoever I'm talking to as a human. And so just not asking questions that I wouldn't want to be asked myself if I were in their position, and not asking something that feels like a waste of time, or is like, if it's like for like a really serious project, like, I don't know, if I was like talking to like Paul Mescal about like Hamnet, for instance, I wouldn't be like, what would William Shakespeare's like top four letterboxed like films be? You know what I mean? Like, because it's like Hamnet is like, beautiful film about like grief and stuff like that, going back to Eternals. So like being respectful and mindful of um the project and the person, and you know all of that is really important. So that's, I guess, the opposite of what you were asking. Another one would be like to ignore, like, I guess, the subtle ways that the other person is kind of letting you know, like, what they're responding well to, I guess, like, would be
Okay,
like to remain completely rigid and not like within the moment word questions, like make adjustments to how you're wording questions, or being rigid in like the vibe that you're bringing to the interview, basically. Yeah, I think being rigid in general can be a harmful thing sometimes, but yeah. And then also just don't be weird or creepy, of course.
don't be a weirdo.
Yeah, like
Don't be a weirdo.
in general, but
Yes.
yeah, just like don't, I guess you could also maybe look at it as like pretend your mom is like in the same room and like watching your like as like her child doing this. Don't embarrass your mom.
I love it. Don't embarrass your mom, okay? Don't do that, okay? Okay, don't do that, okay? Who plays you in live action movie? Like who's doing it?
You know, I got limited options, but I'm gonna go like Keanu Reeves is there for me. He's my guy.
Oh, I see it. Hey, I see it. Let's go. What's the movie gonna be called?
Oh man. The first thing that came to mind for me was just some guy, which I think is
Just some
like
guy. No, it's gotta be called him.
just
Him.
some guy.
Him. Just some guy. Just some guy. Just some guy. Just some guy. Okay. Go check out Just Some Guy with Keanu Reeves. It sounds fire though. It sounds
I
fire
would
though.
want to watch that.
Yeah. What's your end credit song? What's your song that goes on the credits? What you want playing?
Yeah, that's a great question. My first thought was "Old Man" by Neil Young,
Okay.
which is like
Okay.
weird because
All
I'm
right.
not old, but
I
I
love it.
just think it would be funny. Or maybe like what would be like a really funny end credit song? Like "My Heart Will Go On" or something like that. Like something ridiculous. I,
My heart will
I
go
would
on.
definitely want people to laugh.
This was handpicked. This was handpicked. I love it. Okay, okay, okay. I will see that movie. Go see Just Some Guy with Keanu Reeves, guys. Go see it. Go see it in IMAX. Everything. Go see it. 4DX. All that stuff. Good stuff. And now we flip the script. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, so this is such a wonderful idea for a podcast. Like, what drove you to create this podcast?
Bam. Me and my friend Benny was like, yo, we should do a podcast. Bam, we did it. And then we was like, oh, we should do this like more seriously and stuff like that. Cause I grew up like very sheltered and the Jesus, I was the chosen one, it was cool. Preaching one but I had a guy who was like, yo, you should go out and learn about the world. And I was like, you're right. I should do that. So I stepped outside my comfort zone. I asked questions about what's what, how's what. I don't never do anything about LGBT, everything about politics. Whatever I don't know, I don't know a lot about. So I'm like, you know what? I want to have comfortable conversations, ask really good questions, or just be educated from something, or let people talk about their passions. And I learn a lot every episode. So I'm like, okay, cool. So that's what I want to do. I like it. It's fun.
That's great. No, I that
Scary,
makes
but
me really
fun.
happy.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
like, damn.
What is like I guess what is something that you've learned from doing this podcast?
Ooh, I learned a
And I
lot.
know you've learned a lot, but
I learned so much. I think I'll take one from politics. You should always like read before you say, read before you say anything. I learned a lot about trans rights, everything, what's going on with that, how is that's going
mhm,
on, or how a person feels like in their body, or what they feel like, or or why they feel this way. And I was in that, and I
mhm,
was always taught like something else, like da 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 da. But I was
right.
like, I want to hear from somebody that's trans or whatever, ever like LGBT, gay, straight, lesbian. I
Mhm,
want to learn all of it. I want to know what's this mean, poly, all this. Oh, I've learned so
right.
much. I just want to be aware and not be ignorant. And I have a lot of friends of all over the world. So I want to just be like, I want to be here. Your feelings are valid. Let's talk. I want to hear some things and I want to talk. I want to learn. Now, I don't want
For
to be
sure.
ignorant. I don't want to
Yeah.
be ignorant. Okay, that's my goal. I just want to learn. That's all I want to do. I don't ask for much,
Mhm.
So that's
No,
all.
that's
That's
a
all I
great
ask.
that's a great like objective to have in life, really. So, if your I guess essence had to be in a comic book, like what type of origin story would you have?
Oh, that's crazy. Oh man. That's kinda crazy. I wanna go for the dark one. I just have, like, a regular one. I would have somebody just, like, I would love a legacy one, like, going like, "Hey,
Mm,
this guy did this." Like, I'm Wolverine. I wanna be Wolverine too, but, like, I have no da da
nice.
da, or I have no super soldier serum, or just, I
Mhm.
want something like that. I kinda work up my struggle because I always love a legacy character. That's
Yeah,
my jam. If it's change it or they flip the script, like make it a guy or they make it a girl, whatever. I like the different perspective of seeing something from a different lens of view. I always think that's cool.
mhm,
That's all.
100%.
It's my favorite
Yeah.
thing. Go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Just go crazy. I'm
Yeah,
always
and
about yeah.
I
I
think,
like
with
learning.
the legacy character, you benefit also from, like, having the community of that original character, you know?
Hmm.
Like Wally West and Barry Allen, for instance, and the Green Lantern Corps. They're all there for each other, except when Hal Jordan decides to
You
try to
wildin'.
recreate the universe in his own image.
He said, "God? Is he gonna be God?"
It's like,
Yeah, this is like
there he goes.
there he goes again. Oh man, come on, man. Come on, man. But yeah, that's what. Yeah, I just wanted something simple, not too crazy. No death of parents.
Hmm.
That would suck. Sort of give me like, hey, you want to put this suit on tab? Maybe, I don't know. Or be chosen, that'd be cool. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
all. But yeah,
yeah, that'd be
something
really
that's good.
really cool.
Yeah, that was a good question. I'm stealing that.
Go for it. Yeah,
Yeah, you don't miss. You don't ever miss, man. You don't miss. I was like, yo.
that's. I think it's that's part of like the job for me is that I'm just like I wonder like if someone how like Barbara Walters goes throughout like her everyday life. Like, if she just like
Mhm.
randomly meets someone at the supermarket, will she ask them like is she primed to ask them like a super hard hitting question and then they just
Yeah.
start crying? Like, I don't know. Probably not. But
What are your eggs doing for you today that nothing else is doing
yeah.
for your life? Something crazy. I don't know. That I find that because I like asking people questions. I just do. It's fun. It's a cool thing to do. You ask people questions, y'all. Ask
Hmm.
people questions. That's okay. But yeah, that's you got any more questions? You're really good at this. Really good at this.
Thank you. I guess, like what's a movie or event or, some creative project that you're looking forward to experiencing
That's a good question.
because it's the new year.
Yeah, so much good stuff. I do want to see Odyssey. I know
Hmm.
nothing about that. Know nothing. And I kind of like, I wish all the cool kids know what that means. Say, hey, read the book. I'm like, I'm gonna wait. Fuck, read the book first. I'll read the book after. All right. And like,
Hmm.
Avengers kind of like weird to me. I don't know how I feel about Doomsday. It feels weird as a
Hmm.
comics fan. I'm like, okay, that's one of the ones I'm like, we'll see. I do want to see Frankenstein, The Bride of Frankenstein, that movie. That looks
Hmm.
cool. It's a lot of stuff I want to see. Oh my goodness. There's so many movies coming out. I want to see. I just want
Oh
to be.
yeah.
I want to. How do you feel about the whole Warner Brothers and Netflix deal? What about? How do you feel about that?
Oh my gosh. Like
Like I was like, how do you feel about that?
I do not like it.
I don't like it either. I was like, I don't. This makes my stomach hurt. I don't want to do that.
I'm just like I don't like anything about it. But
Right.
I don't there's just so many intricacies with that whole situation that I can't I don't think I can say anything more than I don't think I like this.
I don't like where this is going. I just always never got. Well, I want to see a lot of like. I'm down for a lot of superhero stuff. I'm intrigued for this year for
Hmm.
movies. So I kind of see what they do. I'm giving everybody the benefit of the doubt, but Odyssey has my thing. I'm not usually a Nolan guy. Really a Nolan guy. I'm usually a bit of a hater. I'm not a hater. I'm just like, all right, man, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, like you're really into to making things go backwards and like upside down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't say he's boring, but he just makes some things I'm like, I'm like, he
Hmm.
made Batman kinda weird, and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's okay.
No.
It's okay. It's fine. It's okay. But I wanna see what he does with that, and then, like, I haven't seen Avatar yet, but that's a whole different
Oh,
thing.
it's great.
Okay,
It's really good.
okay. Why do you love Avatar movies? I need to
Oh,
know.
man. Okay, so I love James Cameron.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah. Okay.
I am a huge Big Jim fan. Movies like, everyone like is like talking about Titanic and whatnot, but like, my favorite of his is The Abyss because it's such a beautiful like rumination on the strangeness of being a person, but also the strangeness of our planet and like being in the ocean. Again, because like I love animals and like the natural world and stuff like that. And so does James Cameron. But like with Avatar, I will also say like there's a lot of the abyss in that and in the most recent film, Fire and Ash. But I will always be down to see, evil imperialists and people carrying out colonialism and stuff like that. Just absolutely eat it.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I am very much I mean, like, water is wet. I am very much against imperialism, but
Yeah.
it means a lot, I think, for me to see that there's these, like, huge, like, blockbuster Hollywood films that are carrying this message, 'cause, like, you go back to, like, the golden age of westerns, and you're like, whoa, like there's some crazy things being said in these movies. So I'm just like, can we curse on here?
You can say what the fuck you want to say. You can say the fuck you
Okay,
want
great. I
to
was
say.
like, eat shit, John Wayne. Like, you
You can
know,
say whatever you want. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm a. You know what? For you, I'm gonna watch them. I'm gonna watch them.
great,
All right. Deal. I'm gonna
great.
watch it for you. I'm gonna watch
The
it for you.
sequels are better.
Okay. I'm gonna watch it for you. I'm gonna watch it for you. I will do it. Damn it. I James Cameron. I want an Aquaman movie so bad, but I know
Yeah,
deep down.
yeah.
And I love the I love the making of it watching too. I was like,
Hmm.
"What? You could do that now? What?" And I just,
Yeah.
I will take the plunge. I will do it, guys. I'm gonna watch Avatar. I gotta
You're
watch
not gonna
2
regret it.
and 3. It is pretty. That is the most beautiful thing I've ever
Hmm.
seen. And it was back then. I was like, "Whoa!" My eyes were like,
Yeah.
my eyes was like, "All right." My eyes like, "Oh, okay." I was like, I get it, y'all." My eyes, okay." But yeah,
Galaxy brain.
but do you have any more questions, or we gonna wrap it up? We gonna wrap it up?
I think ending on a note about Big Jim is a great way to close it out.
No, wait, did it cut off? No, because all right, please come back. Jules, come back. All right, whew! Okay, I was scared. I said, not like this, not like this. But thank you so much for coming on to the Power
Thank
Fitness
you.
podcast. You're the best. Whenever you want to come on, whenever you want to promote, whatever you need, whatever we got you. Put the basket up. We got you. Let the people know where they can find you at and what you got going on.
Yeah, so you know, you can find me at Instagram at infinitevibes, all one word. I'm also on Letterboxd, also under that name. I think it's either that or like it's just my name, Jules Green with an E after the end.
Okay,
Um
okay.
and then like I am sporadically on Blue Sky at Jules Green. But like if you actually just like want to keep up with me on a daily basis, just like read whatever I'm writing at thepopverse.com. That is the outlet that I'm with, and I'm having a good time.
Mhm. Okay. 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 Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You can find me at Sailor Games, YouTube, TikTok, everywhere at your mama's house. I'm all over spreading the love. Okay. Thank you, Jules, for coming. Let people know, like, all right, if somebody owe you money, give me some word of advice. What's up? What's going on today? Let them people know, Jules. Let people know.
In terms of like, what's a piece of advice that I want to give people?
Whatever you want to say to end off the show. You say whatever the fuck you want to say. Okay. Yeah.
Be kind to each other. As Bill and Ted said, like, be excellent to each other. If you can be kind to one person, then, to paraphrase some like Abrahamic, like religious ideals, like, then you would have been kind to all of humanity. So yeah, just take care of each other. And that's it.
I love it. Take care of each other. Be kind. Thank you. Hit the like button, share button, do all that good stuff. Follow Jules, please. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Don't press the button. Wait, don't press the button. Don't press the button.